Today, here in Pass It's a Powerful Channel, we will explore why most people panic at the worst financial moment. Have you ever felt that stomach-dropping lurch when you look at your bank account or when the stock market takes a nosedive? That feeling of pure, unadulterated panic? You're not alone. It's a completely human reaction. But have you ever wondered why our brains seem to choose the absolute worst moments to hit the panic button? Today, we're diving deep into the psychology behind financial panic and, more importantly, exploring how we can learn to stay calm when it matters most. So, let's start with the basics. Our brains are wired for survival. For thousands of years, our ancestors lived in a world filled with immediate life or death threats. A rustle in the bushes wasn't a market dip. It was a potential predator. In those situations, a rapid-fire response system was a huge advantage. This system is managed by a small, almond-shaped part of our brain called the amygdala. Think of it as your internal alarm system. When it senses danger, it floods your body with adrenaline and cortisol, preparing you to either fight the threat or flee from it. This is the classic fight-or-flight response. The problem is, this ancient alarm system hasn't really been updated for the modern world. It can't tell the difference between a saber-toothed tiger and a stock market crash. To your amygdala, a sudden loss of money feels like a direct threat to your survival. After all, money represents security, food, and shelter. So, when your portfolio value plummets, your brain screams, danger. It doesn't pause to analyze long-term trends or consider economic cycles. It just reacts, pushing you to do something, anything, to escape the perceived threat. And what's the financial equivalent of running from a tiger? Selling everything. Immediately. This brings us to our first major psychological trap: loss aversion. Behavioral economists like Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky discovered something fascinating about human nature. We feel the pain of a loss about twice as intensely as we feel the pleasure of an equivalent gain. Think about it. If you find $100, you feel pretty good. But if you lose $100, you feel absolutely terrible. That feeling of loss is so powerful that our brains will go to great lengths to avoid it. When the market starts to fall, loss aversion kicks into high gear. We see our portfolio in the red, and the pain is so acute that our primary instinct is to stop the bleeding. We sell, locking in our losses, just to make the pain go away. The irony, of course, is that this is often the exact moment before the market begins to recover. Then there's the herd mentality, also known as social proof. As social creatures, we're heavily influenced by what others are doing. If everyone around you is running for the exit, your instinct is to run with them, even if you don't see the fire. In the financial world, this translates to watching the news, seeing headlines scream market plummets, and hearing financial pundits predict doom. You see that everyone seems to be selling. Your friends are talking about it. Social media is buzzing with it. Your brain concludes that if everyone else is panicking, there must be a very good reason. They must know something you don't. So, you join the herd and sell, contributing to the very panic you're trying to escape. This creates a self-fulfilling prophecy, a downward spiral fueled by collective fear. Let's not forget the role of our own cognitive biases. One of the biggest culprits here is recency bias. This is our tendency to give more importance to recent events than to events in the distant past. When the market is crashing, the most recent information we have is all negative. The charts are red, the news is bad, and our portfolio is shrinking. We forget that markets have crashed and recovered many times throughout history. Our focus becomes myopically fixed on the present pain, and we extrapolate that trend into the future, assuming things will only get worse. We fail to see the bigger picture, the long-term upward trend of the market over decades. Another bias at play is the confirmation bias. This is our tendency to seek out and interpret information that confirms our existing beliefs. If you're feeling scared and believe the market is doomed, you'll naturally gravitate towards news articles, YouTube videos, and forum posts that reinforce that fear. You'll ignore the lone voices of reason, counseling patients, dismissing them as naive or out of touch. This creates an echo chamber of negativity that amplifies your anxiety and makes it almost impossible to think rationally. You become convinced that selling is the only logical choice because all the information you're reconsuming tells you so. So, we have an ancient survival instinct, a deep-seated hatred of loss, a tendency to follow the crowd, and a brain that's wired to focus on the negative. It's a perfect storm for financial panic. It explains why so many people buy high, caught up in the euphoria when everyone else is buying, and sell low, succumbing to fear when everyone else is selling. It's the exact opposite of the classic investment mantra. Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. Knowing all this is one thing, but how do we actually fight against these powerful, ingrained instincts? How do we become the calm investor in a sea of panic? The first and most crucial step is to have a plan before the crisis hits. A solid financial plan is your anchor in a storm. This plan should be based on your personal goals, your time horizon, and your risk tolerance. It should be created during a time of calm, when you can think rationally and logically. What are you saving for? Retirement in 30 years, a down payment in 5 years. Your strategy for each of these goals will be different. When you have a clear, written plan, it acts as a roadmap. When the storm hits and you feel lost, you can refer back to your map. It reminds you of your long-term destination and helps you ignore the short-term noise. Part of this plan involves understanding your own risk tolerance. How much volatility can you stomach before you lose sleep at night? Be honest with yourself. If you're someone who gets anxious seeing your portfolio drop by 10%, then perhaps a highly aggressive outstock portfolio isn't right for you. A more balanced portfolio with a mix of stocks and bonds might be more suitable. There's no shame in having a lower risk tolerance. The best investment plan is one you can actually stick with through thick and thin. The second key is automation. Automate your investments. Set up regular, automatic contributions to your retirement and investment accounts every single month, no matter what the market is doing. This strategy is called dollar cost averaging. When the market is high, your fixed dollar amount buys fewer shares. When the market is low and everyone else is panicking, that same fixed dollar amount buys more shares at a discount. Automation removes emotion from the equation. You're not trying to time the market. You're simply and consistently investing over the long term. It forces you to buy low, which is exactly what you should be doing. Third, and this is a big one, limit your exposure to financial news and noise. During a market downturn, the 24/7 news cycle is not your friend. It's designed to grab your attention with sensational headlines and dramatic predictions. Constant checking your portfolio is just as bad. It's like picking at a scab. It won't help it heal any faster. Instead, try to tune it out. Limit yourself to checking your portfolio once a month or even once a quarter. Unfollow the fear-mongering accounts on social media. Read books on long-term investing philosophy instead of watching breaking news. Fill your mind with wisdom, not with noise. Fourth, educate yourself. The more you understand about how markets work, the less scary they become. Learn about market history. See for yourself how many times the market has crashed, and every single time it has eventually recovered and gone on to reach new highs. Understand concepts like diversification and asset allocation. Knowledge is the antidote to fear. When you know that market downturns are a normal, expected part of the long-term investing journey, they lose their power over you. You start to see them not as a catastrophe, but as an opportunity. Finally, remember your why. Why are you investing in the first place? Is it to provide a secure future for your family? To travel the world in retirement? To achieve financial independence and have control over your time? Connect with that deeper purpose. When panic starts to set in, remind yourself of the long-term dream you are working towards. This bigger picture can help you put short-term volatility into perspective and give you the strength to stay the course. Financial panic is a powerful force, driven by deep-seated psychological triggers, but it is not insurmountable. by understanding why our brains react the way they do, and by proactively putting systems in place to counteract these instincts, we can learn to navigate financial storms with confidence and calm. It's about having a plan, automating your process, limiting the noise, educating yourself, and staying connected to your long-term goals. This is how you move from being a reactive investor, driven by fear, to a proactive one, guided by wisdom. Thanks for watching the Passive to Powerful channel today. I hope this gives you a new perspective on market volatility and the confidence to handle the next downturn. If you found this helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content on mastering your money and your mindset. See you in the next video.